What's poppin', fam? Welcome to Don't Touch My Mindset, a podcast that is designed to uplift, inspire, and motivate you, and most importantly, share tools to help you protect that mindset. Yo, we are back. Happy Sunday. How are you feeling? How you feeling? I'm feeling good. I'm happy to be here, thrilled, excited. Yo, got an amazing guest today. Of course, it's Pivotal Moments. If you didn't catch this week's Mindset, we release every Wednesday, every Mindset day. We got a brand new mindset for you. But if you haven't caught the last one, go back and watch it or listen to it wherever you listen to the podcast at. Press the follow button, right? If this is your first time here, rate, review, and if anything resonates with you, share it with a friend, man. Got an amazing guest today, all the way on the West Coast, man, all the way on the West Coast. And it's just an amazing speaker, author, have just done amazing things, hosting worldwide retreats, and training people to do what she does, right? That at level 4 leadership. Just an amazing person. I want you guys to tap in and listen because she really dropped some tools, some strategies, everything that you really need to succeed. So tap in, dive in, tell me what you think of this episode. I cannot wait till next Wednesday. We got some special things coming your way, so please, just tap in with us. Follow the show. If you want to share your pivotal moment, go ahead and reach out to us at DJ Chase or at don'ttouchmymindset.com. Or at Don't Touch My Mindset on Instagram, right? I love you guys. Let's dive. Probably ask that question, like, before, like, any, like, conversation that we're about to have, or, like, record, I'm like, yo, guys, probably, like, the tools, tips, and strategies that you're about to drop for the people listening to this, the anecdotal experience that you're probably about to give to anyone who's listening to this, is extremely valuable, like extremely valuable. Yo, thank you guys for tuning in to another Pivotal Moments. I'm here with an amazing inspirator, an amazing author, and just somebody who has an amazing story and has done great things. I don't want to make this introduction short, so Carolina, please tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here today. My name is Karolina Rzadkowolska. I'm an alcohol-free life coach and author of the book Euphoric Ditch Alcohol and Gain a Happier, More Confident You. I've been alcohol-free myself for almost 5 years, and I had this incredible awakening when I ditched drinking to really find my deeper purpose on this planet and start finding fulfillment in creating meaning and purpose in my life instead of just immediate gratification with a drink, and which is I help mostly other women do as well. I host retreats all over the world. I, speak on stages now, and it's just such a stark contrast to the life I used to live, where literally the highlight of my week was wine, right? So that's me in a nutshell, and I'm just super excited about this topic and really this idea of like what happens when we remove the things that don't serve us anymore. Like, who do we really become, and what do we have the agency to do on this planet?
I love that. What do we have the agency to do, and who do we really become? Yo, one, thank you for your work. Thank you for your service. The world needs it. I truly believe in everyone that I speak to that your story has the power to change someone's life. And just because I am who I am and I have my story doesn't mean I can reach everybody. And so I believe in the power of collaboration. I believe in the power of connection, and I believe in the power of storytelling. So let me ask you, what was that pivotal moment for you? Like, what was that moment where you actually took control of your life?
Absolutely. So, I should make a quick story, or a long story shorter. I learned to drink when I was in college, high school. I completely fell into the party lifestyle. Like, that was my thing. I had no healthy habits when it came to alcohol whatsoever. I drank to deal with breakups. I drank because I was bored. I drank because it was Friday, like whatever it was. But as I got older, I started to settle down a little bit. I got married. I got a career. I bought a house, all these things. And I really started getting into more health and mindfulness. And so drinking became something that I kind of pushed into the weekend. So Monday through Thursday, I lived quite a healthier lifestyle. I remember going to yoga class and meditating and having green juice. And then every single weekend, like clockwork, alcohol would be part of the picture, quite normal social events, but also, at home as well. And every Monday morning, I just woke up feeling like a shell of myself. And this cycle went on for years, like way too many years than I'd like to think, because I was really getting the signals that something was wrong, something was off. But I really thought that I was doing all I could. I was trying to drink less, trying to make it, okay, well, what am I supposed to do? Doesn't everybody go out on Friday night, to celebrate the weekend, all these things? And so I really found myself like in a hard space because I wasn't sure what I was supposed to do to change and to make this better. And I have to say that I actually wasn't in this place where, my drinking got worse or something worse happened. I think my awareness got deeper. I actually drank more in college, and that was probably very, very the most unhealthy I've ever had been. But I was also kind of carefree back then. I didn't really care, you know what I mean? And so as I'm like really looking at this and attuning my awareness, like I'm having way more pain around the drinking. And so I think the pivotal moment wasn't actually necessarily this like wake up call from drinking. It was actually something quite different. So I'm in this experience. I hear dry January, and dry January to me is such a relief because it's like, oh, I can just take a break from alcohol. I don't have to explain it to all these people. And that really clicked something in my brain to finally go for it. And I did dry January, and I just, had some challenges and had some getting used to, but ultimately I fell in love with the experience. I fell in love waking up feeling good. I fell in love with being proud of myself. I fell in love with washing my makeup off every night, right? Like that wasn't happening when I was drinking. I fell in love with those things. I wasn't quite convinced though that I was allowed to be a non-drinker yet. I had this rule in my rule book that normal adults drink. Therefore, I have to drink to be normal. And so I drank a few times in February of that year, and I hated it. Like the contrast was so rich to me. I hated how I felt. My mood was like went down immediately. My sleep was impaired. It just wasn't what I thought it was. And so I decided to take another break in February. And I've basically been alcohol-free ever since for, almost 5 years now. And I think the pivotal moment that really happened for me was those first few months alcohol-free, because I am starting to love myself again. I'm starting to find more self-respect and self-esteem for myself. My confidence is going up because every weekend I don't drink. I'm like, what? Who is this person? Is this like Superwoman? Like, I'm really amazed by her. And I start exploring new activities. I start getting out my comfort zone and trying new hobbies and meeting new people and all this stuff. And so my pivotal moment, I will say, was this moment where I was like, all the things you used to believe about yourself, all the negative things, all the limiting stories, all of that is bullshit. You are capable of far more than you ever believed. You're proving that to yourself. Now let's go chase your dream life because you have everything inside of you need to achieve it. And that was this wake-up call for me to stop living in a career that wasn't satisfying me, stop just hoping my life would get better, and actually go for the things I've always really wanted in my life. And, it wasn't like a black and white thing. It took some time, but here I am now on the other side with the dream business, with the book in the bookstores, with the travel I love, with, building a company, making an impact in people's lives. So I'm just so proud of that version of me who listened to that message.
One, I'm glad you listened too, because think of the, I want to say thousands of people that wouldn't be where they are today if you wouldn't have listened to that message. If you wouldn't have gained that deeper sense of awareness, if you wouldn't have had that pivotal moment and came up and done the things that you've done. So one, congratulations. Thank you. So I want to dive deeper, of course, always. Now I'm super interested. If you took away all the trials, all the tribulations, if you took away all the successes, you took away all the titles, who are you and why do you think you're here?
Ooh, I just got goosebumps the way you said that. My life is supposed to mean something. My life is supposed to matter. And I really ultimately believe that I am a soul here who is supposed to make a legacy and make meaning in my life for other people and really help other people. And I don't mean just, take on the nurturing role and be someone who's always helpful. I mean, really make a mark on the world. I think at the core, so many of us are born even with this idea of our greatness. And then we get knocked down by life. We get knocked down based on the color of our skin or our gender or our parents or our teachers. And then we fall into unhealthy coping habits with alcohol and relationships and all this stuff. And we forget about our greatness. And I think every single person has it. Like, I'm not trying to have this hubris or overconfidence or anything. I think every single person actually has this gift. And that's the core of who we are. And that's what makes us so beautiful as humans. And we forget that beautiful gift. And we're told that we're not special and that we'll, none of these things are possible or realistic or anything like that. I want to have the most unconventional, most unrealistic, just goal achieving life where I'm doing what I love and I'm helping people as a result of it. I think that's who I am. That's who I was born to be. And I forgot that a long time ago for sure.
Wow. I completely agree with you on that. That was beautifully said. What day in February do you celebrate as your alcohol-free anniversary?
Yeah, it's February 24th, and it's also really special to me because that day obviously didn't mean very much then, but my grandmother, she was really close. She raised me. I have my mom too, but she was home with me more often. So I really just found myself having really like motherly instincts to her. She also is the most incredible survivor. She survived being bombed in World War II and some most incredible hardships. Her husband was ripped away from her, taken to a concentration camp. She was also one of the most positive women I've ever met, like who's gone through so much suffering in her life. She was abused later. She left her husband in the 70s when like women did not do that. She just had this like fierce independence about her, fierce positivity. I really, like, she was my role model. I looked up to her so much. And a few years later in 2021, she passed away, and she passed away on that day. And to me, that was such a sign and such a signal that everything she went through, all the hardships, she was paving a road for me. And she was paving the road to stand on her shoulders to now have and do everything that she wasn't able to do it because of the time and the era that she was born. And it just gave me this like the meaning it was for me to ditch alcohol in my life is completely revolutionized not only my life, but like you said, the other lives I get to touch. And so I really believe that she chose that day to pass away to tell me that message. And she had her favorite stone, like, most people don't have a favorite stone, but she had one. It was amethyst, and she would wear amethyst rings and necklaces, and she had this really big amethyst stone in her room that I have now, and I look at like every single day to just remember what it means. And I never knew what it meant, but like once she passed away and I looked into it, amethyst actually means not drunk. It actually means sober. And I'm like, whoa, right? Like, so like all of this could have happened and I could have just like looked the other way and not looked into these signs and symbols, of my life. But I really do believe that we're being guided. And when I allow myself to believe that, like, there's so much signs that I'm on the right path and that I'm making such a big difference because of the choices that I've made to be alcohol free, and that it matters, that it really truly matters. Just like you said, every one of our stories matters.
Wow. Yeah. No,
Sorry, that was a really long answer to a very simple question.
I love it. That's how it podcast's over. That's it. You guys have gotten enough. You got to pay for the rest. No, that's absolutely phenomenal. Thank you. Wow. Because it shows and highlights the importance of a why. And with the people that I coach in recovery and things like that, I always tell people that your why changes. Your why will change throughout this process. Like, don't be so attached to this why that what you started on and what you get so tunnel vision on is not going to be your why in 90 days. It may not be your why in a year. It may not be the reason I ask is February 5th, I'll be 6 years alcohol free. Yeah. And I'm just like, it's no coincidence that we're having this conversation. February is a huge month for both of us, right? But that why of why we did it. My why now is just completely different than why I started. And I think that just upgrades and elevates your why. So let's not get, what if the past 5 years had a smell, what would that smell be?
Immediately just came to my mind, so I'm not going to overthink it. Lilac.
Yeah, why?
Lilac, I think of, it doesn't grow where I live. You have to go into the mountains to see lilac. It's this beautiful purple flower. It has this like sense of peacefulness to it. It's this mountain flower. It comes in the spring, and it just, to me, it's like a smell of possibility.
Wow. That's a beautiful answer. Catch that. You got to go get this life. It doesn't just come to you. It only grows in a certain time. You got to truck up the mountain to go get it. Like, catch that. That's a system right there. Lilac, right? That's good. I like that. If somebody was starting on this journey towards greatness, starting on this journey towards being their authentic self and discovering who they really are truly deep down in their core, what would you tell them?
I would tell them that this is going to be the greatest exercise of your life. That like we, in so many ways, come to this planet, and we say life is short, right? But life is also so long, like so long that we get so in just inertia. We get into what's called hypnotic trance. We forget how profound life is. We forget how much the moments matter. We forget that we don't have all the time in the world to do the things that we want. And so in this hypnotic trance, we just get into habits, and we get into patterns of thinking, and we get into careers and relationships and all these things that we get really stuck in. And we're not ever asking ourselves intentionally, is this what I want? Is this what my life is going to be about and mean and stuff like that? And so I think in a way that, people who decide to ditch alcohol are having this great awakening from the hypnotic trance. And, the hypnotic trance is not just drinking. It's anytime we're doing everything that society tells us to without actually asking if that's what we want, right? So you could do the hypnotic trance with a corporate job, or, all the things that we're supposed to do in life without asking what we really want. And so when you're at the beginning of a journey and you're really going to be finding yourself through it, this is not what most people will do. Right? This is not, you already have to know that. No, most people are not going to do that. And that already sets you apart as one of the most intuitive, brave, and wise people on this planet. And then the answers that you're going to find, some people find that it's, very empowering, and that they're very motivated to go after their true selves and what they want. And some people find it very confronting, right? Oh no, I have to change this. This job isn't fulfilling me. I have to change this. And that can feel a little threatening, but I would always say your emotions are not something to be scared of. Like, your emotions are just trying to tell you what's in alignment or out of alignment in your life. And you have the maturity and the wisdom to be able to slowly make those shifts over time in order to have more happiness and more fulfillment. And so so many times we are drinking because we're numbing parts of our lives that we don't like, and we don't actually believe that we can do anything to affect change there. I mean, how many people just live the stressful life, stressful careers, 9 to 5s, schlepping to work, coming back, demanding bosses, all this kind of stuff. We just put up with it as this the only way to live. Well, it's not, right? There's so many other creative possibilities out there to make a living that are really true to you and your soul. And so instead of drinking over that, right, we can actually listen to that stress, listen to the things that aren't aligned with our values or our deeper dreams, and then learn from people who are doing it differently and try to do it ourselves too, right? So I think it's just the most exciting journey you're ever going to be on, and you're going to surprise yourself of what you're capable of, and the way that you shift and saying yes to you versus the expectations of other people.
Good. And one drops some deep knowledge there with the hypnotic trance that feeds into the drifting that gets you away from your purpose. Like it's deep. I highly suggest anybody who wants to know more about that, reach out to Karolina. Why do I stutter when I say your name? Because I'm like, I want to say Karolina, right? Karolina.
Yeah, you got it.
Absolutely. Karolina, reach out to Karolina about the hypnotic trance, because I think that's something that's super important that not a lot of people teach, but the elite know about. Right? Like, or pick up Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. Absolutely.
One of my favorites. Oh my gosh, right?
Phenomenal book, right? Like, as soon as you said that, I was like, oh yeah, she's one of the elites. Okay, let's go. Let's rock now. I love it.
That's the thing to recognize too, is it's not some kind of hubris or anything like that, but what the hell is normal anyway? When we look at statistics, normal is very unhealthy, normal is unfulfilled in their careers, and normal is unhappy. Like, who the hell wants to be normal, right? And with that book, Outwitting the Devil, there's a real big component to it that we're just so scared, so freaking scared to make any kind of changes in our lives so that we settle for all the crap we don't like, and we settle for the status quo, and we settle for mediocrity, and we don't have to settle.
No. And the bad thing about it is, like, or not even the bad thing about it, it's like, it's amazing to know and accept the fact that everything worthwhile in life is uphill. Everything worthwhile in life is uphill. But the problem with most people, or the problem that we seem to encounter, is that we have uphill hopes and downhill habits, where we'll place our hopes in knowing that we have to go uphill, and we'll start to slip on these downhill habits. And the most powerful thing about anyone's excuse, and look, she didn't activate it, Jay. I was nice and cool now, but now she didn't activate me. But the most powerful thing about our excuses when it comes to going after the life that we deserve, want, or desire, is that they're valid. How did you get past valid excuses?
Oh gosh, I had a lot of valid excuses, right? And like, we say them to justify so much, and it's so bad too when you're starting to kind of waken up to a new dream or something like that, to then get opinion of other people who are also validating their excuses on you, right? So it's like your Uncle Bill, who, you know, never launched his own business because he was too scared, tells you how all businesses fail, you know, and it's like, this isn't the reality. This is Uncle Bill's projection of his fear back on you. And it's just so incredible how we do that. But I had the excuses, right? So first of all, entrepreneurship. Like, I love the idea of freedom. I love the idea of financial independence. I love the idea of being creative and helping other people. So me with those values and those like strengths doesn't really fit very well in a 9-to-5 job. I never really felt too happy with one of those. But when I thought of entrepreneurs, I was like, okay, well, those are like those white guys in the suits at the Silicon Valley, and they're like tech geniuses, and they're friends with venture capitalists. Like, there's nothing about me that screams entrepreneur, right? Like, at least not in my mind. I'm foreign. I didn't speak English until I was later in life. Like, super shy growing up. Like, just nothing about me said entrepreneur. And so there's really this belief I had that was even taught in my business school that I went to, that entrepreneurs are born, right? And if you don't like have the feeling of a confidence of an entrepreneur, you're not supposed to be one. And so I totally believe that, right? Another lie that I would tell myself is I always wanted to be an author. And I actually did write quite a lot when I was younger. So as a child and as an adolescent, I would make little poems up and, you know, little short stories and stuff. And then I started drinking around, you know, my teens, 20s, completely dries up my writing. Like, I stopped writing. I can't even journal anymore, truly, honestly. And I never lost the desire to be an author. It was always such a big dream of mine. So every year for a few years, I would make this New Year's resolution that this is the year I write. And I'd make a resolution that I would sit down for like an hour every week, all year, right? I would do it the first week in January and then never do it again. And I just really found myself believing wholeheartedly it's not on the cards for me. I'm not meant to be an author. I don't have the discipline. I don't have the creativity. It's just not going to happen for me, right? This is all where I believed, right, as a drinker. So when I tell you my pivotal moment at the beginning of the show, it's the pivotal moment to say those are all lies. Those are all lies you're trying to say to protect yourself from the fear of the rejection or the criticism when you undertake these big tasks. And let me tell you this, it was so much easier to open a bottle of wine than write the next great American novel, right? So what do you think our subconscious and our psyche goes for when we're presented with these hard, meaningful things versus kind of the easy route out, the way out? But we all know it's not easy because it just leads to more pain and unfulfillment over time. We have to push ourselves to do the things that really call to our souls. We will feel resistance, right? Like, this is your baby, this is your dream. But what else are you gonna do? Like, become 90 years old and sit back looking at your life feeling so much regret for the things that you didn't do? And I think that's the biggest motivator for me. I know I have the excuses, they're valid. There's so much realistic stuff too, right? So like, you know, this doesn't pay well. I used to believe that, like, writing doesn't pay. And it was so silly because like, I was saying that to myself with a full-time job that was paying the bills. So I couldn't sit down for an hour and write on the side of my job because I believed writing didn't pay. It was like, what reality do I live in? It's not even a necessary need right now, right? Like, I was just cutting off my desire to do it with an excuse before I was, you know, anywhere close even to, you know, use writing as a career. And guess what? It does pay. I got a 6-figure book advance from HarperCollins, right? So like, these are like the realistic stuff I think we get stuck on as a society. Like, as a society, we have all these rules about what we can do with our lives and all this kind of stuff. And that's where like it's kind of really hard to change those excuses, because you're betting upon not just your own limiting beliefs, but like the limiting beliefs of the society around you. But it's like there's these great examples. If it's possible for this one person, if it's possible, if there's an example anywhere out there of this being possible, that means that humans can do this, right? And I can become one of those exceptional humans to achieve this as well. So I think that remembering, yes, I'm going to feel fear. Yes, this is going to suck. Yes, this is going to be that uphill type of a thing. But would I rather feel regret for not going for this? And that scares me way more, way more.
That is that translated for me to just the bridge of self-discipline, of knowing your goals, your dreams, your hope, your wishes, everything that you know that you're capable of being. The unmanifested manifested is right there on the other side of that bridge of self-discipline. Like there's good intentions. You have good intentions from growing up and wanting to be a writer and writing all the time, making good I intend to do the things that I'm passionate about. Good intentions don't cross that bridge, but good actions do. And having that self-discipline to really tell yourself what you want. And that's why I say I do leadership development for organizations and companies, and I bring leadership development to recovery. But I always tell people that good intentions don't make good action, right? We have to choose to make those actions and then choose to follow up with them always. That is a conscious decision that we have to make, right? And nobody's going to want it as bad as we want it. Like going back to Uncle Bill, who's never ran his business, never, ever launched a course, never ever coached anybody in his life, but he's going to tell you how entrepreneurs quit asking for permission. Quit asking for permission. I love the way that you put that. So it's absolutely phenomenal. What's next for you? What is next after? I mean, you are accomplishing amazing things. You're transforming people's life. You're traveling. You're speaking on stages. What's next?
Yeah, so something that my heart has been telling me to do that I'm very terrified about is to launch our own coaching certification, because I just really believe that so many people go through this journey, awaken, and change their relationship with alcohol, discover who they really are, right, and their deeper purpose. And then they want to turn around and help the person behind them and change careers and have more freedom and impact in their lives as well. And so it's like a really big undertaking. We're in the works of creating all of it now and getting the structures down, but it is something that I'm so passionate about because, coaching and personal development and mindset work and all these kinds of things have changed my life so much. And to be able to train other people to not only deepen that work for themselves, but then for other people is just, that's icing on the cake right there for me. So that's next. That's hopefully going to be launched this year in the spring. There's lots of work we need to do for it, but I'm very excited. And you don't even know how much like imposter syndrome I had about that. Like, who am I to have a coaching certification? I'm not this big organization, or I'm not, I don't know all the things. I haven't done this PhD program yet, right? Like BS. I don't need a PhD to do this. I have a lot of experience and a lot of other certificates under my belt. So very excited about that. I definitely want to write another book. My first book was really about how to not only just ditch alcohol, but really see it as a pathway to greater health, greater mindset, and greater confidence in your life, and really reconnect with yourself. But then I think there's like this next stage of like, okay, I've done that work. What's next? And I think really deepening that purpose and finding the conviction to do what you said, to have the discipline to go after your dreams, because, discipline to just wake up every day and do something, like it loses, we burn out, right? We have so many pressures in our lives. So it's like, to me, to find that really deep conviction of what's going to carry you through, each day, I think is really important. So I really want to write a book about how to find your purpose and then have the conviction to go after it and the courage to go after it. Really already understanding that you've already gone through this big life transformation that really gave you already all the tools that you need. I mean, going alcohol-free gives you so many gifts and tools and blessings that are going to be the exact same ones you're going to use in the next stages of your life. So definitely another book, definitely want to continue growing, reaching more people. I have a dream of meeting Tony Robbins. So let's put that one on the list as
Let's
well.
put it out there. Let's put it out. And I will tell you that, what you focus on grows. What does Tony say? What you focus on grows, right? And that's phenomenal. I met my biggest inspirator, my mentor, now my coach, like just 3 months ago, like three months ago, like phenomenal experience. And it was just literally focused. And I went did y'all catch what she just said? Like, I asked what's next, and there wasn't no, I don't know. There wasn't any hesitation. There was some I want to say skydism, right? Skydism, scared and excitedness. Skydism. There's some you being excited for the next chapter, but there's clarity. I think every good leader has clarity, purpose, and they operate from abundance. You know, this is just the absolute beginning. And so that's when you hop on this journey of being alcohol-free, when you hop on this journey of chasing your dreams, developing a business, developing leaders up under you, when you hop, it's a process. It is a process. You need clarity to know where you're going, and knowing that what your first achievement, that big achievement, that thing that you wanted to do, that's just the beginning of the story. That's just the beginning of the story. We still got so much further to go. That got me really excited. And good leaders develop other leaders. So do the certification program. Good leaders develop other leaders. Good leaders lead by example, then they duplicate. That's all it is. And you have to, in order to change the world, you can't do it by yourself. Promise you that. We're not going to do it with the multitude of people. We're going to do it with those who are ready and willing to learn, grow, and advance, and give back and value everyone. So I love that. I support your coaching certification program. I'm telling you that right now. So I can't wait to see that roll out.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I think that's where it is. It's like, I'm so passionate about helping people change their lives. And it's just like, there's just me, right? And I can grow my company and I have people working under me and stuff, but it's still just, my side of the corner. And so many people won't relate to us and my story. And you know what I mean? We just need more people out there. I really, really believe that. I think we're changing the world with what we're doing. Like you said earlier, like we're waking up, right, from that hypnotic trance. And just imagine how different the world would look if more people woke up to their greater potential and really found that their purpose and passion in life. I think that would actually be solving so many more problems than we think. I'm so curious, though, if I could ask you a question. Who's your big mentor?
Dr. Eric Thomas. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, that's so exciting that you got to meet. That's like a huge check mark of a big dream, I'm sure.
Yes, absolutely. He's the reason I'm a speaker. Like, I was literally listening to one of his speeches and he was motivating me. And I heard him stumble on his words because we have these limiting beliefs of, I can't do that as well as them. I can't do this. I can't do that, right? And I heard him stumble on his words, and his video was still on YouTube with 900,000 views on it. And I was like, I can do that. And a year later, I've been trained by him, certified speaker by him. I've met him. We spent time together. I work with him. I work with his booking manager. We just developed so much of a relationship. I'm very involved with the company, and it's a beautiful process. But that's all I focused on. Was like, yeah, I can do that, and I'm gonna do that. And
I love that story.
Thank you. Long story short, let me tell you that. Long story short, but this isn't about me. What are 2 principles that you would give somebody to maintain, to achieve, maintain, and keep going?
Yeah. So going back to my biggest mentor, Tony Robbins, I think that a lot of times we get disheartened on our journeys because it's taking a long time, right? So, I had a dream of writing a book. I started writing this book in 2018. When I went alcohol-free, I already got the idea. I got this like divine download from the universe, told me to write Euphoric, gave me all the chapter titles. It was really special. I was in Hawaii. There was a sunset. Like, it really was an inspired moment. And, I was like, okay, I have this mission. I'm going to write this book, and in my timeline, all the things were going to happen very quickly. I was going to be on book tour, meeting Oprah in 6 months or so. And it took me 4 years. It took me 4 years from that moment until my book came out on bookshelves. And I actually think that's pretty reasonable in a really, kind of short period of time, actually, to get a book out there into the world. And so, I think it's recognizing that if you want to be doing big things on the world, big things, big life-changing things for your life too, it's gonna take time, right? But the thing is the time's going to pass by either way. And so many people get disheartened because things take time, that they give up and that they just lose hope and they stop working on it. But the time is going to pass by either way. Like in 5 years or in 4 years from now, 4 years will have passed. We all can't deny that, right? So would you rather do it spending the time on your passion and developing your deeper purpose and working on something that gives you so much meaning? Or, going back to the hypnotic trance, right? Like, what alternative do we have? So I think that's really important to recognize, because I think we have all of this impatience that, like, well, if I'm not a millionaire tomorrow and if I don't have this raving success tomorrow, then it's all not worth it. And I think we do that again to protect ourselves from the fear of failure and rejection and all those kinds of things. Tony Robbins is accredited with saying this, but I think it actually goes back to Bill Gates originally, that we overestimate what we can do in 1 year, but we underestimate what we can do in 10 years. And I think having that like long-term game plan, like for example, if you're a business owner or a coach or, just a new entrepreneur, your first few launches or sales or all that kind of stuff, they're probably going to suck. They're probably going to be very painful and hurtful to you, that the people you wanted to sign up didn't sign up. And so when you go at it like with a really short-term myopic viewpoint, you're going to see yourself as a failure and this is never going to work for you. And, all those other people are successful, but you don't know how to do it. But when you have the long-term view, you can really see that, oh, wow, I really learned something about marketing. I really learned about what people are looking for. I really learned about how to improve this program. Like, thank God I didn't go viral and super famous like 4 or 5 years ago. Thank God. Like, I was not ready for it. All of the stuff that I had going on, even though it was really good, the best I could do then, it was kind of embarrassing in hindsight. You know what I mean? Like, right. There's a reason, I think, why things take time. And so I think I would definitely tell someone that. And you had a second thing. So I think for me, remembering that negative bias is the natural way the brain functions. That's how we survive, is picking up what's wrong. And so it's like normal, without any intervention, to just wake up and have a blah day. You know what I mean? Like, okay. Mm-hmm. So I think being really intentional too about carving out time to prime yourself in the mornings, either, whether that's, reading a really inspirational book or listening to a really good podcast or a motivating speech or whatever it is for you exactly. Do that in the morning. Do that so that you really change that negative bias and feel different about the day. And then therefore you act different about the day. And now I'm not perfect with this. I can tell when I'm like doing really, really hot and well in my life, and when I'm kind of like feeling like burnt out and low. And I'm like, you know what, Karolina, you haven't been doing your morning priming. You haven't been listening to people who inspire you. And so I think that's what continues to drive me on the day-to-day basis. Like, there's the big picture stuff, but then just the day-to-day, how to keep going. Like, listen to people who inspire you. Listen to people who give you goosebumps in the morning. Listen to people who remember and who remind you how great you are, And honestly, Jay, like, there's no wonder that you're a speaker and that you fell to work with Dr. Eric. Like, you have this natural gift and you have a way of just waking people up. And I just know that it's going to take you so far and to so many stages and to so many audiences in the world, because you have this power within you. And I think, it's such a beautiful gift, and that like these eloquent, maybe not eloquent, but just like powerful speakers exist in the world for a reason, to kind of wake us up. And that's you, man, for sure.
Wow. Thank you. No. And I love how you broke that down to that time takes time, and you are going, like, absolutely have to choose your thinking. We have on average 36,000 negative thoughts with only 7,200 positive ones. So like literally, like, we have to take and pick and choose those 7,200 thoughts that are up against 36,000, or just our subconscious or negative. And then I love, like, I stress this so much, because people are like, Jay, I want to do what you're doing. You're doing amazing things. You're out in workshops, you're leading workshops, you're talking on stages and all this other stuff. I'm like, yo, pump the brakes. This is development. This didn't just happen overnight. Like, I'm almost 6 years. I'm almost 6 years down the road. Like, I just started talking about my story about a year ago. But that's all the work I did in the dark is starting to show in the light. Because that's developed. And I try, because people are like, yo, I'm 90 days sober. I want to go be a sober coach. I'm like, yo, you need to chill. Like, what would happen if if somebody you love like died right now, like what would you do? Like how have you coped with those type of emotions during sobriety, during beating that without leaning on that crutch? Like, because people are going to come to you when they think that you can help, right? But we got to do that development in the dark, and that takes time. That's my biggest thing. I believe in 2 timelines, 90 days and 10 years. And what you do every 90 days is going to get you closer to what you want in 10 years. That's my philosophy. Any way that I approach anything. Somebody asked me like, Jay, when do you think your book's going to be done? I said, it's probably going to take me 2 90-day cycles. That's it. And I was like, it's not on this timeline of like, I need to have it done by this. If it takes me 3 90-day cycles, it's 3 90-day cycles, but it's still part of my 10-year plan. So it doesn't set me back. So I love the way that how you broke that down as well. So that truly, truly, truly beautiful. Wow. I mean, anything else that we give these people, they're gonna have to pay for it. Like honestly, like this is a virtual summit at this point. Like, come on now. But no, tell everybody where they can find you, where they can find the book, any courses, programs, anything that you have going on. Please share with the audience.
Yes, please. So, if anything's been interesting to you and you want to learn more about me, I think a book is an incredible way to, very inexpensively kind of learn all about authors. I love authors myself. Books are such a gift for me. And so I'm just so grateful to be able to have written one back. So Euphoric, Ditch Alcohol and Gain a Happier, More Confident You is available where all books are sold on the Amazons. You can go to also euphoricbook.com. And then check out euphoricaf.com. That's my website. And in addition to, helping people like ditch alcohol, find their deeper purpose, launching the certification program this year, I do business coaching as well for alcohol-free coaches who want to grow their businesses. One of my favorite things is hosting retreats. So I host retreats all over the world. They're in tropical destinations. They're really deep experiences, transformational experiences, and just the most beautiful locations in the world. And we're hosting one in Bali of this year. We're going to go to Costa Rica next. So if you're interested in like actually getting that immersive experience, I can tell that that's something that you've probably done in your personal development is immersion. Because like the online stuff is great and we learn a lot and all that kind of stuff. But when you like go to an event, to a conference, to a in-person seminar, to a retreat, to something like that, and learn from the best right then and there, like it changes you. You literally come back a different person. So I know how much I love those kind of experiences, and to combine it with my love of travel too. Like, again, I really am living my dream life here. I get paid to travel. Thank you. That's amazing. So if anyone's looking for that extra kind of immersion or anything like that, definitely encourage you to check it out.
Love it. I love it. I love it. And yes, the immersion experience, like go do it. Like if you're on the fence about it, like go do it. Like speaking of Dr. Eric Thomas, I love that you brought him up in here and asked me that question. I literally drove 6 hours to volunteer at his conference. And like just to volunteer because I was like, I want to add value and serve in order before I come like trying to ask or help or get any type of mentor. I need to show value and add value to someone, right? I literally drove 6 hours down the highway, went to that conference, stayed for 2 days, worked every 2 days. I literally had 2 words with Dr. Eric Thomas. I said, thank you. That's all I said throughout those entire 2 days. And then I was so charged up. I was so powered up from that experience of being in person next to the best. I drove back 6 hours that same night after the conference, like just drove back just on energy, just like, all right, yeah, now I'm ready to go. So anybody who hasn't been in that experience, that's what I'm saying, please check that out. Go see what she has to offer. Like that. I mean, any in-person event, of course, I'm a speaker, but any in-person event is life-changing. Like it's something about tasting and touching and filling the room and being around great people and just a great opportunity. Well, I want to say thank you for coming on the show. This has been a phenomenal conversation. Yeah.